Representative Eddie Bernice Johnson of the great state of Texas joins us now. Good morning, Congresswoman.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. So you voted for the bill.
I did.
Yep. This is what troubles me is, you talk about, obviously, I did not want to send our country into default and continue partisan gridlock that plagues both chambers of Congress at the expense of our economy. This is the problem is that, I think we got to this point, however we got here, and it would have been a catastrophe.
It would have been a catastrophe. I'm not pleased about having to vote under these circumstances and still feel strongly that raising the debt ceiling had absolutely nothing to do with all the tag on.
Yeah.
But that's what we were presented.
Yeah.
And at the time, to prevent the catastrophe, I went along with it, not because I really support everything that it includes.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people felt the same way. I was looking at the headline today. Debt is a done deal. Debt is a done deal, but peace truce already fades. I'm like, when did we have a peace truce with the other side? We had to prevent them from throwing our country into a financial abyss, didn't we?
Yes. It's not a truce. It was actually an emergency move to prevent what could be worse. We did not solve really any problems related to our economy, related to jobs, related to fairness to the American people.
Well, and obviously Wall Street and the Dow Jones did not react well even to this. I think that this was, as the president said, such a messy process all the way through. But, I see Mitch McConnell yesterday said the American people agreed with us on the nature of the problem. They know the government didn't accumulate $14 trillion in debt because it didn't tax enough. Well, the American people think exactly the opposite. They think that we need to tax the top 1 or 2%. They need to pay their fair share.
Indeed. As a matter of fact, if you look at the origin of this debt, it has solely to do with these tax breaks and the wars.
Right.
And the only thing that's going to get us out of this is to find ways to generate some revenue and to get jobs started.
Right. And
every time we cut, we are killing more jobs.
Well, the president yesterday said we've got to do everything in our power to grow this economy, put America back to work, arguing forcefully for revenue increases. Do you, obviously a lot of people on both sides have trepidation about this, what's it going to be called, the Super Congress, this committee or whatever it is?
Super Committee, I have great reservations about that Super Committee. We've been dealing with Super Committees this entire session.
Right. Again, you're right. It seems like it's the stopgap we had to do in order, to not send the entire world into a financial meltdown.
Yeah. Is there an explanation for why Obama voted against the raising the debt ceiling as a senator? And if that has any relevance to what's going on?
I have no clue. I've never had a conversation with him about the debt ceiling as such. What I've talked with him about is the economy. And
right.
The fact that all of the cuts that we're doing, and obviously we have to do some cuts, but without revenue generation, we're not going to get out of this recession.
Yeah. Well,
that's what I've discussed with him.
Well, and again, that's not partisan. I think, the vast majority of the American people, the vast majority of economists, I think it's just, I hope as we go forward that, we can start to continue to make that argument. Carlos, I don't know why it's relevant. That was just a vote. Unless you're just trying to make the president look bad, that's just, he knew that it was going to be raised. It was a vote of conscience at that particular point. But anyway, if you're trying to say he's a hypocrite, then that's fine. All right, Representative, so what's next in terms of jobs? Because obviously that's the,
I'm waiting to see what's next myself.
Yeah.
Because there's legislation introduced to create jobs. But let me quickly say that as long as we continue to do nothing but cut, it will not ever create a job.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
It gets rid of jobs.
Right.
As long as we cannot address situations like FAA.
Right. Mm-hmm. What now?
We will not create any jobs. As a matter of fact, what we're doing in the legislation that's coming out of these committees is demanding more of the federal workers, but not putting the money there to support it.
Right. Well, I mean, and once again, this is a partisan stalemate that has partially shut down the FAA. If people don't know what you're referring to, once again, how do we get out of this partisan stalemate now?
I wonder that myself, because something has got to give, and clearly at this point, neither side is giving. Now, I have joined every Democrat on the Transportation Committee to introduce a clean extension. By the time we get back, even another extension will be due. I mean, if we had passed this extension that was due back in July, then it would have expired in September anyway. We don't get back to work until September. So It is time for us to work out these problems and do a general reauthorization, which we have failed to do since 2007.
Congresswoman, I have to ask, because we're all looking for some bright spots, and certainly the bright spot in the week was Gabrielle Giffords returning to Congress. Did you get a chance to talk to her or see her?
I saw her. I did not speak to her. She was really not doing much talking.
Yeah. But I mean, thank God it was,
It was a very, very, very emotional moment.
Yeah. And it was inspirational when you talk about, when you see people that you feel like are whining on all sides of this. It's just, the fact that she's there and and she said the same thing. I mean, she voted the same way you did, that to think that my absence would cause a default in the United States, I just couldn't, you think, God, if she can get out there and speak her mind, then I guess we all can take a step back, huh? Congresswoman, I was going to say, so this debt commission, have you heard any word when those members are actually to be chosen and when they go forward?
I don't. Now, they're supposed to have some reporting by November, so I guess it comes very quickly.
Right.
I've heard absolutely no discussion from from just members. I've not heard any discussion from the leadership. Right. I have heard discussion from members making a plea to membership that it be diverse.
Right.
That it's not just made up of people all that look alike and from the same type of philosophical view. I've heard those pleas. Now, I've heard no response to those pleas.
Right. Well, we will keep you. I know you'll keep us posted on that. Before you go, I have to run one thing by you, and that is President Rick Perry. Being from Texas, your thoughts?
I heard one thing that Sarah Palin said that I agree with, and that he should stay in Texas.
Just keep messing with Texas. Representative Eddie Bernice Johnson, thanks so much for your time, as always.
Thank you very much.